What is up, everybody? What is up? It is a very special Thursday edition of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. So thank you for joining us on a different day at a different time. I had a bit of a phone interview earlier for a new job. That's why we were at a different time. It went okay. But I got to do a whole bunch of shit to like prove that I wasn't bullshitting everything I told him. So God damn it.
Gross.
Just trust me, bro. Like that's what I wish trust me, bro, was an acceptable source for what I told them, but it's not apparently. Also, as we go through this, I'm trying harder to regulate volumes and shit. So if somebody's quieter than somebody else, let us know. It's perfectly fine. No harm, no foul, unless it's an indictment of me as a person, in which case I will take offense and call you out on stream. But yeah. So Books, how you doing?
I'm good. I think I dislocated my knee last night, so that's been fun.
Yeah.
Well, it popped back in, but
yeah, it popped back in after it popped out.
Yeah.
And you survived.
I did.
You lived.
It hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surviving.
Yeah.
I don't think the knee has to come off.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You're not going to be amputating. That's good.
No, but I will not be the wild card at Double or Nothing. So that's
okay. Okay. Well, there goes my pick. All right.
Sorry.
Tino says that's all I ever do in interviews. Totally, bro. You just tell them whatever you think it is they want to hear, and you just find a way to reframe it as your idea enough times. Yeah, Tino's asking, did you hit a V trigger on Mr. Books or what?
I have no idea what I stood up.
Too fat to cook says that's badass, but ouch. Yeah, so I guess we spoiled a little bit of Double or Nothing already. Books was scheduled to be the wild card.
I was.
I asked if I could be the wild card. They didn't respond. So I don't think they got my message.
I told them you don't like onions, and they were like, well, you're out.
You know, I tell people when I order things with no onions, I tell them that I'm allergic to onions so that they feel like this added like pressure to remember not to include onions. And I don't think they take me very seriously, honestly, because stuff still comes out with onions on it, even after I said that. New Day Mark on Threads here. I'll be there live. Most looking forward to Swerve versus Bandito. Fuck yeah. Hello, New Day Mark. Good to have you with us. I believe it's for the first time. Very happy you're here. Very excited to get your words in about what we're seeing here at Double or Nothing, what you'll see live at Double or Nothing. And I want to remind you all before we start the podcast officially, on Monday, Books, you're invited if you want to join us.
I should have no issue, but
okay.
You know,
okay.
Unless my knee gets amputated.
Yeah, don't again, unless your knee gets amputated, which I'm hoping doesn't have to happen as a form of treating knee pain. But Degree and I are going to be here Monday with our first edition ever of Shut Up Forever, which is our combined show of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, and Pro Wrestling Forever. Shut Up Forever will be premiering, and apparently Books will be joining us unless there's a knee amputation.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who wish I would shut up forever. So
I think there's a lot of people who wish I'd shut up forever, for sure. Some of them are probably related to me. I was that kid that they were like, could you please just calm down? Could you please?
Can you use your inside voice? I don't know what that is.
And I'm like, this is me whispering. This is me whispering. This is what I consider whispering. I've been called the worst whisperer ever many times. Blurry Line joined us early, as he's apt to do, and left some, responded to what's the match you're most excited for. I'm oddly excited for FTR versus the Midlife Crisis Collective. I am too. I think that's going to be a great match. And
excuse me, their name is Daddies. They are daddies.
Daddies.
Not Midlife Crisis. Daddies.
And I think Copeland is definitely verging into midlife crisis territory with the hair right now. Did you see? So when Christian said They say when you're born, you look like your family, and when you die, you look like your choices. That was a bar. I was like, that's true. And if this is my choices, I needed to make better ones. Larry Line also says, but Will and Joe is going to be something beyond even what we're expecting. Will's favorite match, the one that made him want to be a wrestler, is the TNA three-way with Joe, AJ, and Christopher Daniels. He's never gotten to wrestle Joe before. You know he wants this to be good. I know. So, like, New Day, Mark, you said that you're most looking forward to Swerve and Bandito, and I agree. That's the match I'm most looking forward to as well. However, I think the match people might be sleeping on just a little bit is Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe. It's going to be great.
I think we all know what match I'm looking forward to.
The Stadium Stampede, I'm sure.
Yes. It's not just because of Kenny. It's because it's genuinely the first match I remember from AEW.
Yeah. And, on this Kenny disrespect thing that we were talking about this last week, where the fuck was he this week? Like, he's just going to show up to the pay-per-view and that's it? Like, that's all you do anymore, Ken? You just show up?
Yeah, is Kenny going the Roman Reigns route?
Yeah, he's feeling real Reigns-ish to me right now. Books will instead be Kenny's replacement for all future North Carolina shows, according to
this point, yes.
It would be as big a draw. It would be as big a draw. I think so.
It would be.
Tino says, I'm throwing Olympia or Mercedes out there as a wild card. Okay, fair, since Books can't make it now. My cousin, Tony Montoya, in the chat. Don't worry, I'm here. Okay. I'm glad you're here, cousin. Even if I'm not able to get notification again, I'll be posting pics on the New Day Mark account, not the other one I'm using until then. All right, good. So follow New Day Mark on Threads. Tony, like your mom, Blades. I'm not even sure what this is. No. He's never in the chat. I'm glad Cope finally has decent hair again. Tino Ibarra calls them CNC Wrestle Factory. I think that's a great name for them. Bars, according to Tino. I'm glad. Blurry Line says, I refuse to believe Christian came up with that on his own, but I never heard it before. I agree. Tino's saying meh, and I'm not sure what to, but I agree. Number one for Phoenix. All right, New Day Mark. Number one is Swerve Bandito. Number two is Joe Will. Number three, Okada Talk. Those are all great picks. And yeah, Tino's saying, yeah, Okada versus Take has potential to be match of the night. It does. It really, really does. Folks, we're going to get started with the podcast. Okay. As much as I love reading your comments, we will continue to read them throughout this live stream. Okay. But we're going to get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. I'm Blade Daly, and this is a pro wrestling podcast about pro wrestling, and I am joined on this very special day at this very special time by my newfound bestie, Books. Books, we're besties because you've finally seen the light about Kenny Omega. This little jerk.
I understand Don.
Yeah, you understand why
I'm still not team Don Callis.
I don't know. I mean, that's how it always starts with Don, though. You know what I mean? So, Mark Davis did the same thing. He's like, no, I helped you guys because you blackmailed me, but I'm not Team Don. And then he's Team Don. You see? He's also the national champion. Books. No Kenny last night in the great state of Maine, who hadn't had a wrestling show in 30 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for Maine. Maine is one of my favorite states, so I'm very happy for them.
I've never been to Maine. What's Maine like?
Beautiful. Lots of good food.
Wide open country. Probably some libertarians out there, right?
I've only been to Portland. So, but Portland was on the water and not very libertarian, very liberal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. There are some libertarian weirdos out in 100%. Yes. Yeah. People really don't understand that there are parts of New England that make the South look. There's some weirdos. Not the South. I've met some people from there. Some of them are weirdos. And,
Tino saying, a stadium stampede for me, but that's just my excitement level. I could turn around on it, though, once it actually starts happening. Fair enough.
Yeah, they haven't really built it very well, but
they haven't built it at
sentimental.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck has Kenny been?
Yeah, Kenny's just Blurry Line says Kenny's been helping Kota build a wrestling arena from scratch. I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram. Kota Ibushi doing something very cool, said that there's too many wrestling venues going out of business, so he's going to build a wrestling venue himself, and he's going to help raise money for it. He's not quite ready to get back in the ring yet, and I'm sure Tony Khan doesn't want him to get back in the ring yet for just some stuff. But Kota is trying to raise money to build a wrestling venue in Japan, and yeah, I bet Kenny is helping him. Let's see. New Day Mark says, fun main fact that ties into Double or Nothing. The granite in Grand Central Station comes from an island off the coast of Maine. Vinyl Haven. Wow. I did not know that. Tony Montoya, my cousin. Maine is a Stephen King novel. In real life, it rocks. I killed a vampire with a trident. No, you didn't, cousin. Okay. So getting back to brass tacks here, we got some great feedback about our last episode books. The people liked us talking about the IWC and identifying the culprits. We got offenders, defenders. We got work rate bros. And we talked about the one other one that I can't remember right now. But, we're a little bit of each, And
the moral high ground one?
The moralist. That's correct. That's
the
correct.
The one I relate to the most.
Yeah, me too. I fall into moralist. Funny, I couldn't remember the one I identified as. The fact that we didn't get a go home video package set to What a Wonderful Life is an actual crime. Very true. Blurry Line. I'm not sure how much Tony Khan wants to pay for all this shit. So that could be part of it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel that you're watching us on right now. Subscribe to Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out on your favorite podcast platform, on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, make sure you click the bell to be notified each and every time we're live. And join us most Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Also, make sure you tune in this Monday because Shut Up Forever, the combined efforts of Pro Wrestling Forever and Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. I forgot the name of the show I'm on currently that I started. We will be reviewing Double or Nothing on Monday. We'd love to get your feedback. And since it's on Sunday, it's even more timely. But books, let's just jump into what we're talking about.
I'm just going to make fun of you for a second. It's literally written right up top too.
I think it's well known that I don't read very well. Yes. Have I gotten far for a guy who doesn't know how to read? Yeah, I freely admit it. I had a job interview earlier. Most people who can't read probably struggle to get job interviews. I didn't. Okay. I have some skills. Reading isn't one of them.
Just some.
Now, Mick Foley, on the other hand, is all elite. According to Mick, he's all elite.
No, he hasn't gotten his graphic yet. So, it doesn't matter that Mick and Tony have confirmed this.
And Tony Khan today in his media call said that Mick will be a recurring member of the team. That if he wants to wrestle, he wants him to do it in AEW. That if he will be occasionally broadcasting. I think they're having kind of this revolving third chair. That's Taz or Danielson or maybe Mick Foley. Fucking awesome. That's just amazing. I absolutely love it. Still want Veda Scott to get work in AEW somewhere because I think she'd be great at it. But look, I'm not going to argue with Mick Foley. So my question when I was writing the notes this morning was like, is he really going to be there full time? This made me irrationally exuberant, so happy. What about you, Books?
I screamed. I legitimately screamed because I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought maybe Forbidden Door because I think we all heard June, his Legend deals was up. So for it to be this soon was
right.
It was amazing.
Right. The rumor mill was kind of talking about it anyway. And then you had some speculation that he would be there. Then this convention that he was supposed to be at said he canceled and he couldn't tell them why, which told them all they needed to know. And so I think at that point, Tony Khan's like, well, we should probably announce that Mick's gonna fucking be there.
Yeah.
So
my only question is his daughter gonna stop going to WWE shows? Is she gonna be welcome there? Because
they
are them a lot.
Some classy people over in WWE. So my guess is she will be shown on camera, and they'll be like, "That's the daughter of a guy we never talk about anymore." Yeah. So Blair Lane said he has a very particular set of skills. I assume he's talking about Mick Foley. I'm not sure. New Day. Mark says Blade has layers like an onion. What? You're new. How did he even know?
I mean, we have been making jokes about you and onions all day. Between me and Neon Ghost, I think
that's true.
Had a little too much fun with the onion jokes.
That's true. You guys are always having fun at my expense. Real talk. Do you think Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind all get individual graphics? Tino asked.
I hope so.
I think it would be really funny if, because he definitely doesn't own Mankind. Vince definitely owns that. And I think he probably owns Dude Love. So what would be funny is if Kind Man and Dude Love and Cactus Jack all got, they can't quite do Mankind. So they do Kind Man or like something else. Kindly Gentleman. Gets a graphic, but they do a 3 Faces of Foley somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm even curious how they actually trademarked Cactus Jack. Anyway,
I think he owns the trademark to it.
But isn't there someone else who's Cactus Jack? I'm just saying because I got Mr. Book's Cactus Jack shirt, and I think it's. Because even McDonald's had the Cactus Jack toys.
Interesting.
It's Travis Scott.
Oh wow, that's weird. Maybe they have an agreement or something. Because they called him Cactus Jack on commentary last night.
Yeah, in commentary.
Mr. Sacco became Mr. Sicko. Yes.
As long as I have a segment of Mr. Sacco and Harley, I will be completely happy.
Always never said getting a Paul White situation. I hope he never wrestles. I hope he doesn't wrestle too, because I think that I don't need to see Mick taking a bunch of bumps and stuff. However, you get this man around this roster of hungry wrestlers and around Tony Khan, who's approaching wrestling the way he does, he's going to have to be talked out of it. I'm fairly certain. And perhaps medically it's just not even a possibility, but goddamn. New Day Mark, the news dropped when I was at work. I got yelled at for how loud I screamed, especially since I'll be at the show. Too fat to cook. WWE petty? No. Tito Ibarra says, seems like Kushida is trying to get Mr. Sacco in New Japan. That's not surprising. And given his particular set of skills, he could go back in time and just take it from Mick and come back to and maybe if he came back, who knows how the future would change. Stokely Hathaway is getting mandible clawed. Blurry Line says, I'm wondering if a certain New Yorker is going to get Mr. Sicko straight in the gullet. Tony Montoya, cousin. Fun fact: Blade's penis. No. That is none of that is true. All right, so I am overjoyed in whatever capacity Mick Foley wants to be involved in AEW. The wrestling business is better off with Mick Foley in it. And being regularly featured. It really does fill me with joy that he chose to leave WWE and made it very public why, that he really didn't agree. This is a guy who is very wealthy. Okay. Mick Foley is set. Okay. This guy doesn't need a bunch of money, but we definitely, need guys like Mick Foley to speak up. There's a few legends, I'm not going to name them, Bret Hart, who have repeatedly spoken out against WWE, but every time it comes time to
he goes running back.
Bret, come on, bro.
You would think with the way AEW honors his brother.
I think Bret goes where his legacy goes, and Bret's legacy is in WWE, and that's probably why he stays there. This man has money like the son of the Lord. Okay. Like this man has more money than God. Like he cannot go wrong. Brett is so set. When I did my meet and greet with him, I met him for 17 seconds, had my picture taken. He had a great, very soft handshake. We did the thing together, the pose, the Bret Hart pose together. He was a very nice man, and it cost $100 to do that. It was the best 17 seconds of my life, thankfully. So, yeah, Tino says Brett didn't have the best time on TBS when he's in WCW. That is true. Brett didn't have a great time there. Mick just seems like a genuinely good guy. You know, nobody's perfect. When people say, oh, my unproblematic fave, I'm like, no, just wait till something comes out. Everybody's somewhat problematic somehow. Okay. We all have our edges, right? But Mick has shown me enough to say this guy really, really has his heart in the right place. Mm-hmm. And chooses the right path more often than not. And I think that's really a good thing to aspire to be, especially somebody who's been as many places as he has, who's made as much money as he has. I think Mick always tries to keep his heart in the right place. I'm so excited. Him in AEW just feels right to me.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said some other things yesterday that I'll keep to myself more about. Morally, where I think this also confirms where AEW stands.
well, and you know, I think that in the entertainment business, as we've discussed before when we were talking about the moralists like ourselves last week, you know, there is a certain amount of the entertainment business, no matter what you like, no matter what you don't like, no matter what you protest, no matter what, if you like the entertainment business, you definitely like a piece of shit. Okay, there is somebody out there that you like that is a total bastard, and you just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
I have had enough of mine torn down in front of me and burned right in front of my eyes to realize that, like, I'm not going to vouch for anybody I don't know, you know. But, like, at the same time, you know, there's people like Kenny Omega, the Bucks, Mick. There's certain people who've really shown who they are over a long period of time. Paul White is another great example of a guy who I think has had his heart in the right place for a long time. New Day Mark says, I think we all need a Foley Mark Briscoe interaction. Yes, we do. Blurry Line says Mick would never tell you he's perfect, but would be the first person to tell you he fucked up or did something wrong. I agree.
He's authentic. I think that's the best way to put it. He's just an authentic person, and authenticity and being genuine just go a long way.
Tina just said something else that I'm not going to read right now because it plays into something else we're going to talk about. So I think we're all really excited. Will he do anything more at the buy-in than just broadcast? They're in Queens. He's an upstate New York guy, so it's not like the same thing. But like MJF's not the only guy from New York who's going to be working this show. Mick Foley's from New York. He's also a legend. MJF's a legend in the making. Does he, you know, and he and MJF have interacted before, and MJF even recently called him fat and ugly and said that he was happy that, you know, he's with AEW, but whatever, you know? So I don't know, but you know, if Mick somehow manages to get Mr. Sicko in the mouth of MJF, I'm going to cry. That would be amazing. You know, it's funny because I saw somebody be like, you guys are just bitching about Brock Lesnar because he didn't go to AEW. I'm like, you keep Brock Lesnar. You keep Brock Lesnar. You give me the fat old guy with the sock on his hand. That's who I want. You keep Brock Lesnar.
But what AEW fan has actually ever said the words, I want Brock here? Most AEW fans that watch both stopped watching WWE because Brock returned.
A lot of people quit watching because he returned. Now, speaking of returns, we have a parting that we have to discuss, and it hurts me to mention it. Our fair lady, Willow Nightingale, announced last night on Dynamite that she has a shoulder injury. She doesn't know how long she's going to be out. Shoulder injuries are a bitch. They can take a long time to recover. And Willow, she had to vacate the TBS title. She had to drop out of the Owen Hart tournament. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. I'm still not processed this news because I got really upset last night.
Well, and I think people who are willing to be honest and willing to be fair can acknowledge that the women's division hasn't been featured as much since Toni Storm and Mercedes have been off TV. And Willow is one of the few people that Tony Khan seems to trust with ratings and with, keeping people watching when she's on TV. So it's a serious injury, and this sucks for the women's division because Willow is such a huge part of it.
The women's division was already kind of regressing since Mercedes and Tony have been off, and now it's
And as fans, it is our job to continue to talk about these things because not talking about these things solves nothing. Okay. AEW isn't the drizzling shit's horrible, but we have to acknowledge they've been going backwards a little bit, and we're getting more of the 10:30 death slot stuff again. And we just gotta be honest about it.
Keep calling it out. And it doesn't take away from what the women have done, how the women division are, by us saying it. In fact, I think the women's division probably appreciates that the fans want to see them and want them in better positions and want them in more storylines that aren't just belt related.
Right. Like, my cousin's asking, are we talking about Willow the wrestler or the movie? Yeah. Okay. Blurry line, as someone whose shoulder has been fucked up since November, I can tell you they are shitty injuries. They're painful. They're inconsistent too. Some days you think you're healthier than you really are. I agree. Ask Jay White. Blurry line also says MJF has built up an immunity to crusty old socks over the years. Books is wearing a Switchblade shirt.
I am manifesting fucking Jay White's return.
Yes. Tino Ibarra says, I would like Brock to go to jail. Yeah,
Same.
I'm good with that. That's a great
I'd actually like him to go to HEWL hockey sticks.
Yeah.
But,
well, yeah, I think he's well on his way. Whether he knows it or not. Yeah, fuck Brock. Fuck Brock coming back. I don't care. I could care less. Yeah, nobody wanted him in AEW that I've talked to. I've never heard that. So it's sad to see another a trusted name of Tony Khan's go by the wayside. I know Harley Cameron, I believe, is injured as well. She's got some kind of injury. It doesn't seem super terrible.
Yeah, she did post like she was at the gym and stuff getting buff. So
that's good.
Hoping that means that's a return in the.
Yeah. And I think at this point, they need to put some focus on some talents that maybe haven't been preordained for the last 4 years. The way Tony likes to do a lot of things is he has a plan. And then if somebody gets hurt, he waits until they come back to execute that plan. You can't do that with the women's division, Tony. Like,
no, he has to be more fluid and
it'll be great. Well, he has to be bendable. He has to be fluid. He has to be, you have to pivot, at the end of the day. Yep. So, and Blurry Line says, and I agree, they've dropped the ball in the women's division. Tekla is barely featured as world champion, has been fighting to make gold from 30-second pre-tapes or just wrestling in 6 women tag matches or whatever. And look, there's nothing wrong with 6 women tag matches. I'm glad we're getting people on the screen. It's just unfortunate because you got Athena, who can only get on when they do a multi-women tag match for some reason, who I hope is the favorite to win the Owen Hart Cup, but we'll see.
Same.
We'll see. All right. Let's keep it moving. Who do we think the wild card is going to be? Who do you have any suspicions?
So at first my gut said Mercedes, but I think that would actually ruin the plan for the Owen Hart.
Yeah.
So I took that back, and now I have really no idea. Because the only thing I see, I could have seen it coming down to Willow and Athena, with Athena winning.
Same.
And Mercedes returning at All In after the Athena Tekla match.
Yeah, I could see that. But if you do Athena Tekla, one of them is probably going to have to turn babyface. Who would that be? Like, neither one of them.
You could have 2 heels. It's fine. All right.
And then you've got this stuff going on with Sheeta and Stat. You know, there's that kind of stuff going on. It could Statlander.
Yeah, why is there not more of that? Where's Mina being a detective?
Right. Well, and we have had bits of that, and I've enjoyed that a lot, but we need more of it. You know, I'm glad that Tony at least sees Sheeta as somebody he can pivot to in this time.
Yeah.
He just needs to do it more. This should be a bigger story, in my opinion. The Tony Storm whodunit should be a bigger thing. I would love that.
Who is? Maybe it will be Sheeta. It could be Sheeta.
Sheeta would be great, but Queen Aminata is another.
Yes.
Aminata is a great pick. New Day, Mark. That's fantastic. Blurry Line makes a great point. Trios matches are very fun, but have also become Tony's crutch over the years. Agreed. Yes. Agreed.
Wasn't Queen Aminata supposed to have moved up? Wasn't the talk of her and Athena coming to the AEW roster?
I feel like we've had that discussion so many times. Like, look, I love AEW. Tony Khan is a very good booker by and large. I don't think he hates women's wrestling. I think he's scared of women's wrestling and letting too much of it on his TV because, oh my God, the ratings might go down.
Ratings. But here's my thing is we will never know what women are capable of bringing into the ratings until you give them the fucking chance to show up and deliver. Give them meaningful stories. Give them more than just fucking title matches. Show that women can be a draw. It's not that fucking hard of a concept.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Always never. No, you don't. We don't have to have a heel-face dichotomy in a feud. Well, fine, you guys. Just turn on me, why don't you? Everybody.
Hey, I was too nice to you last week, okay?
Whoa. Whoa. Tino, now would be the right time to show this comment. Nyla Rose would be great. I agree. That would be awesome.
Fantastic, yeah.
That would be a fantastic pick. I'd love to see Nyla Rose back. And then Tino also adds Olympia would be good for the extremely Forbidden Door coded women's bracket. Yeah, if you wanted to go that far, I agree. That would be a fun match. Her versus Alex Windsor, that would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be great. One way or the other, it's going to be great. Last thing I want to touch on before we dive into predictions was MJF on Ariel Helwani this week. What the fuck? That was one of the best wrestler, like straight up, like work, shoot, in and out of character, weaving and dodging interviews I've ever seen. That was so good. I honestly, truly believe MJF is AEW's best spokesperson.
He is. 100% he is. I know never say never in wrestling, but I am like 99.9% sure MJF will continue his career in AEW until he retires. He wants to go down as a Kenny Omega, as a Sting. He wants to be able to say, look at me at the top of this career, and I did it without the machine.
Him saying that was very interesting to me, because I think a lot of people feel like it's a foregone conclusion, and there's no talking him out of it. So I'm not going to try because I don't know MJF. I don't know what he wants to do for real. But a lot of people talk like it's a foregone conclusion that he's definitely going to WWE at some point. And my thing is, I would not be surprised if he's one of the highest paid people in AEW, because he is Tony's ace in a lot of ways. When he's around, you can
tell they're very close.
Look at the fucking pictures from his wedding. Like Tony's right next to him. Like Tony, just with his fucking goofy look on his face, he's right next to Max. Like they are good friends.
Yeah.
But he is also Tony's, like, he is the guy in Tony's eyes. And I think you can see that through the booking. You know, you could call him the Ric Flair of AEW. You could call him anything you want. But he is Tony's guy. And Tony is committed to making sure that MJF stays in AEW for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that there is a very good chance Tony goes out of his way to make sure that there's a lot of people Tony would let go before MJF. And
but I also think it's MJF not wanting to leave. I think MJF knows that without that AEW gave him AEW trusts him.
Mm-hmm.
AEW wanted to push him.
Mm-hmm.
He would not be where he is if he was in WWE.
No, and he definitely wouldn't be allowed to just be MJF. I mean, they would WWE is very much a product of hubris, where it's like, you are going to do things our way because we're the machine, we're WWE, and everybody does things our way. And I just don't think Max wants to do that. He doesn't have to. But Books, we got to talk about this interview. It was wild. It
was so good.
A lot of people don't like Ariel Helwani, and I will just say this. I don't really have a strong opinion about him. I did not like it when he called Tony Khan Snowman and started showing up on WWE, and it was dumb of Tony to try and call him out for that. It made Tony look stupid, honestly. But Ariel Helwani,
I will say, I think since their interview, I've given him a little bit of more credit.
Well, and that's where I'm going.
Seems to have changed.
They did not kiss and make up just because. They are not buddies, okay?
No.
They did not want to just be like, hey, I'm sorry, bro, I love you. Like, they didn't hug it out. Like, Ariel sees where the winds are blowing, and he wants to have the most interesting people on that people want to hear from the most. And he knows at the time when they had their little fallout, AEW wasn't doing so great. Now AEW is doing really well, and the fan push is clearly behind AEW. So he wants to have the most exciting people on his show, period. And that's why he made up with Tony. So it's about the business at the end of the day. Okay. So this interview went everywhere. From MJF literally naming Malachi Black as a WWE mark who used AEW to get back to WWE. I think it's very obvious he did. And MJF just saying it, that's the most transparency anybody from AEW has ever said in public about what goes on in their locker room. Everybody's very careful and treads very lightly around it. And that's the one time somebody didn't.
And I think it also confirms that the rumors we've heard about the AEW locker room not wanting him back are true.
Yeah.
Because Brody, Buddy, no one has said come home, bud.
No.
Because I think they look at where they are now.
Yeah.
And are like, we're not going back to this.
Yeah. You'd have to be crazy to think that the House of Black did not keep Brody from a push sooner than he got one, but it conveniently seemed to happen right around the time Malachi wasn't there anymore. Okay, so he named Malachi Black as the WWE mark. He said he did not support the Israeli government. They had a candid discussion, because both he and Ariel are Jewish, about the evolving meaning of Zionism. Said that people trashing AEW are basing their opinions on old information, acknowledged there were rough times, but also said that was long in the past. He carried himself like an absolute star. He called CM Punk a dick and a bad person. However, when I heard him say it, I was like, is there a little worky shooty to this? I'm not sure. You didn't think so? No. Okay.
But that might be my bias coming out.
Well,
hating CM Punk. So
he looked like he either wanted to say more or he was kind of smugly saying what he was saying. Maybe because they have an agreement to just kayfabe hate each other forever, or, because it seemed like Punk was trying to instigate something between him and MJF in his Collision days when he was put the X on the title and shit. That was meant to provoke a program with MJF, and I don't think MJF wanted to do it. So I don't know, but it was a wild interview, and it was fucking fantastic. And I think this guy is absolutely AEW's best spokesperson.
Yeah. Keep pushing MJF.
Yeah.
Keep putting him as your spokesperson. You can tell when the real MJF comes out, especially when he starts talking about AEW in a certain way, and it's genuine. And even when he's being a shit little heel, he can't help but talk about AEW in a positive light. So
Well, and I thought like him and Ariel had a really interesting conversation. You know, you do see the word Zionist everywhere all the time in a very, very negative, derogatory way. And Ariel talking about, hey, I look at the word as it was meant when I was a kid and what I was brought up to believe, which is simply the belief in an Israeli state, right? Not like Israel can do no wrong, right? So he, like Ariel was talking about being offended at the way Zionist has been twisted to mean like Israel above all, Israel uber alles. But MJF has this very thoughtful reply where he's like, yeah, but the meaning of words changes. And I think it has changed. So I recognize the changed meaning. It was like very, very cool stuff. Like it was like refreshing to hear a wrestler with that much like emotional clarity. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've kind of knew where MJF stand. I mean, his wife is Palestinian. So it's clearly very close to home. I think him calling it inhumane was, I wish more people in his position would start calling it out.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. So yeah, like if they strap him up again this weekend, like I'm fine with it. I mean,
his interview changed my prediction.
I still think it could go either way, but we're gonna get to that. Let's catch up with the chat here real quick, and then we're gonna get to the predictions. Okay. Blurry Line 7, a Black Miss Persephone would also absolutely fuck. Yes, Persephone is my second pick to win the tournament. I want that. Okay, if they can sign her for a prolonged period, I want to see that. New Day Mark makes a great point. Lita versus Trish is the first Raw main event, got good ratings back in the day. Women's wrestling draws.
Yeah, I don't know why they think it doesn't. Like it's there's such latent misogyny in it, and it's.
I mean, there's no other way to put it, right? Like at the end of the day, like Tony, I love you, man, but like you got something you got to work out there, bud. Always Never says Nyla Rose was the best part of Jade's TBS title run. I miss her. Tino also says wasn't expecting the Israel-Palestine combo, but I love that he did that. Me too. It was crazy when Ariel kind of brings it up, and then MJF's like, "Wow, we are way outside of wrestling," and then Ariel's like, "You said to ask you the hard questions." It was a great exchange. That was good shit. Conaher says MJF getting mandible claw. I think he might. I think there is a chance that might happen. Blurry Line 7, they had a standoff situation for real, a tense contract dispute, and Tony from then on decided that he was going to pay up and trust in MJF. I agree. I agree. New friend Conaher, 82, said MJF will be getting a mandible claw in the main event. That's kind of my thought too. I think maybe Mick Foley helps Darby turn the tide against MJF a little bit. I could see it happening. Blurry Line says Malachi, Miro, Andrade were people who came over for a payday and to try and create enough buzz to get re-signed. I agree. I think that's true.
Yeah. But Andrade learned his lesson.
Yeah. And Blurry Line said, now look at how Andrade showed up to AEW this time versus the first time. He showed up ready to work this time, and it's showing. And he's getting a main event push. Like, I think this Stadium Stampede match might be the way they turn Andrade babyface, because that's clearly where it's going.
I wouldn't be surprised if Andrade went and talked to Tony as an adult and saying they released me. It was an awful situation. I was mad. I was upset. I wanted to be back with my wife. So I used you. It wasn't right, but the grass wasn't greener. Here I am eating crow. I'm sorry. Let's do this.
Tony had a different relationship with Andrade, even when he left, than he had with Miro or
he was very
Starks or any of those guys, because he said no. Andrade's, I remember it was at the media scrum for the first World's End. Andrade had tapped in a match against Miro, and Tony's like, no, he's leaving. We know he's leaving, but he's welcome back anytime. He did say that. Yeah. And Tony doesn't always say that.
No, and I think I do think he did use AEW to get back into WWE, but I think his reason wanting to leave was Charlotte.
Yeah.
Their marriage was on the rocks. They lasted how long after that?
Right. 6 months.
It wasn't long. Yeah. Wasn't long after that when he made his WWE return that they were
split up, and
Andrade divorced.
Was like, hey, Andrade's back, and forget about him. Tino said, although I still don't believe his hair is real. I had a very prolonged conversation with Kayfabe K about how she believes it is real and that he dyes his hair with a thick dye and that there is a bunch of product in his hair to thicken it. And we would know if he didn't, because if he gets his head shaved, you will be able to tell if he has surgery of any kind, because it does leave a mark on you, even a transplant. So I'm very interested to see MJF get shaved bald because I think there's a very good chance it happens. MJF never fully insults people he believes he had a great match with. Like, he truly believes he had the greatest singles I quit match with Punk. I think you mean dog collar match, but I know what you mean. Yes. People also forget MJF's wife is Palestinian. Yes. Tino, he's going to have a more informed and nuanced take. Yes. I truly think if Perse was healthy in time, she would have took the belt off Athena at Supercard. I think so too. I think Persephone is incredible. She's the future. They have to, Tony needs to throw a big bag at her because she's 23 years old, for Christ's sake. Like, holy shit. Anecdotal evidence. I hate it when crowds get quieter during women's matches.
Same at Dynamite, not this week. When I went last week, I was purposely so loud during the women's match because it got you could hear a pin drop, and I was like, what the fuck?
I have to say, when I was at the Everett show where Darby won the title during Collision, I was really proud of the crowd because they were really into Tekla versus Alex Windsor, and we were loud. But that's very often not the case. But I think that is Tony's fault still, because it's always where the match is on the card. You notice they weren't quiet during the Hollywood ending match, you know?
No.
They get put in a bad spot. New Day Mark says,
awful situation.
They always do, even on the pay-per-views. New Day Mark says, Andrade getting a main event push. How you know? I have had more people say how you know to me in the last 2 weeks than in my entire life. It's crazy.
I say I love it, though.
He was probably super honest with Tony about his marriage, and I could see Tony respecting that. I think that's true. I think that's true. And then he literally fucking just stopped going to work at WWE. He can't ever go back. And so I think Tony feels much more comfortable with him because he's like, well, you're stuck with me, pal. So you either do it here or you're in Japan or Mexico. Like, that's it.
But he also is
Antoine.
in those places.
Yes. Antoine is in the house. Welcome, my friend. Happy to have you with us. We are about to get into our predicts and picks for Double or Nothing. We got New Day Mark in the house who's going to be there live. Very excited for you, friend. It's going to be a damn good time. This pay-per-view, I kind of crept up on me. They announced Takeshita and Okada like way in advance. And then it took a while to really announce much more. They announced FTR and Cope and Christian. And then it kind of just nothing for a while. But then they announced a bunch of stuff, and I started getting real excited because they really ramped up the suspense this week and the week before. And I think, with the ticket sales being as good as they have been, for all the things that, we were criticizing the use of the women, and fairly so. And I think there's plenty on this card you could still criticize for that. They're doing a lot right because they sold the fuck out. I was on AEW's page today and clicked the Ticketmaster page.
Know? They only announced Mick Foley to put butts in the seats.
Yeah. That's
there was one ticket left yesterday.
That's absolutely
one
incorrect.
Ticket.
I clicked on the ticket page today and it said could not find page. Like, you can't buy a ticket. It's gone. It's over.
Oh, really? Because there was a couple of resale seats too. There was one regular seat and a couple of resale seats yesterday after Mick was announced. I'm like, this show is sold out.
Hey, Daniel Musson, U2I says hello from Ireland. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Good to have you with us. Okay, good to have you with us. Antoine Andrade absolutely is getting a major push. Why that global heavyweight title is on TV? Hell yeah. And he's going to be part of the Will Ospreay story. I think that's really cool because I think United Empire is going to be I think they might be setting up some kind of AEW version of it. I think that's why Ospreay trademarked it. I think there's something going on there. Yes. So, Daniel also says WCW versus NWO was the best time. It was a very good time. I agree. Okay. So Double or Nothing this Sunday in Queens, at it's not Arthur Ashe. Where is it?
Oh, it's not Arthur Ashe? Why did I think it was Arthur Ashe?
No, it's a different tennis place.
Oh God.
But it's sold out.
I've been out of New York too long.
Yeah, it's sold out. We're going to go through it match by match. We're going to make our picks and predicts, and I want the chat to jump in on this.
Louis
Armstrong. There we go. Thank you, New Day Mark. Yes, Louis Armstrong, and I love that Tony finds these different places. You know, he can't go to Madison Square, so he finds these interesting places. MJF also brought that up in his talk, that if they did Madison Square Garden, it would guarantee a sellout. I think they would sell it out. I think
they would too.
It would be awesome. Awesome.
I think Madison Square Garden should look at where the tide is going and rethink some of their decisioning right now. But
also, if I was Netflix or any other person doing business with WWE, I'd be looking at what kind of value am I getting for my money right now? Because AEW, I guarantee you, gives you more value for the dollar.
ESPN posted their first article about AEW. They did a full sit-down interview with Darby and other AEW talent about Darby Allin.
I know.
ESPN is not happy.
Yeah. Right. Blurry line. I see trees of green, red roses too. Tony Montoya, I think Goku is going to sweep the. Okay, all right. Antoine, how did Blade confuse Louis Armstrong with Arthur Ashe? Hey.
The onions.
The onions. It was the onions. Jack Perry. Really threw me off. Queens is the best borough anyway, according to Tino. I wouldn't know because I've never been there. The independent territory system needs to be rebuilt from the ground up worldwide. Yeah. I mean, look, more wrestling promotions that are financially viable is a good thing. Because in America right now, Swerve was talking about it in the media the other day. They're hurting a lot. Mm-hmm. We're watching a lot of people go out of business right now. You know, we just lost Deadlock Pro. We just lost Prestige Wrestling in Portland. Defy Wrestling is doing way less shows. I hope they're doing okay. I don't know what their situation is. But those mid-level indies in America right now are really hurting. So, yeah. And Antoine, I honestly hope they stay away from MSG and set their own path and venues. I know MJF was just talking about it. So, I mean, I agree. I could see the value in that as well. That was the guy WWE banned too, the ESPN article. That is correct. That was not a smart move. That was a really dumb ass move by TKO. All right, so let's get into Double or Nothing. The buy-in has one match announced. It is a 5-minute eliminator match. The Divine Dominion versus Zeta Steel and Viva Van. I'm just going to say it. If they were treating the women's division as more of a urgent matter, I think I wouldn't mind these 5-minute eliminator matches. I know what the intent is. The intent is to make Divine Dominion just look like unbeatable, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is because the women aren't featured enough, it looks like a built-in reason to keep them to 5 minutes or less, right?
Yep. Oh, and why at a pay-per-view, even on the buy-in, are they getting 5 minutes? Make it I'm very angry. My arms are crossed, if you can't tell.
New Day Mark also says 10-man tag announced a short time ago. Okay, I haven't seen it. If somebody wants to drop it in the chat, let us know who it is.
It's AJ, Big Boom, and Orange Cassidy.
Oh, okay.
First, probably the same
kind of people they usually wrestle, right?
Yeah.
Tino Ibarra with a very true statement. Zeta Steel is the coolest person in Top Flight. That is true. Now, when you're in a stable full of dorks, the way she is, that is not hard to do. Scorpio Sky's not a dork, but Zeta Steel is the coolest person still. So I think that we have a good chance that maybe these two are the first two to survive the 5-minute challenge. Because it's Viva Van and Zeta Steel. It's not these local talents that nobody. So I think there's a chance that they survive the 5 minutes. I feel a lot more confident in that than I do in anybody else they face so far. What do you think, Books?
I agree. I'm also maybe hoping that this leads to maybe a debut of some people. or something.
They also need more teams. So
they need more teams.
Zeta Steel and Viva Van, I have no problem with that. Because the only other team that they're really featuring at all is the Brawling Birds right now. And it felt like just the other day, they had a pretty decent number of teams. And then I think maybe some people got hurt and that affected it to some degree. But you also had the inaugural champs breakup and that hurt it too.
Yeah. It could be a good excuse to bring in Dakota Kai, put her with someone, or Charlie, whatever her name is now.
All right. So, New Day Mark said he tagged us on Threads because it's hard to type on a tablet. So fair enough. We will, I will pull it up here. Let's see. Who do we got in this 10-man? But I mean, obviously they're not going to beat him or anything. The 10-man is Roddy,
Boom and
Big Boom AJ, QT Marshall, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe versus Shane Taylor Promotions, all of them. A proper everyone in Shane Taylor Promotions for once. Ooh, we got Tino speculating that maybe Charlie, the former Dakota Kai, would be the wild card.
I've also had that guess, but I unless she was already planned to show up, I feel like it's very soon. So
Tino says they need to put more respect on Viva Van. She's done so much for wrestling in Asia and does not get the shine she deserves. I thought the match she had with Red Velvet was very good. At Supercard. I thought that was really, really, really good. Daniel continues with some entertaining thoughts. All wrestlers should wear knee pads and elbow pads and taped wrists and MMA style gloves. Blair Line says it's going to be Nixon Newell in the other one. I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. The fun match. Oh Lord, SDP is on the buy-in. They're going to lose. Yeah, they're going to lose. That's for sure. And Antoine also says, I mean, she built the first wrestling ring in Vietnam. Absolutely. You know, as somebody who got to interview Jake DeLeon about a year ago, around this time with Justin, wrestling in Southeast Asia is a new thing. Like, it's not something they had a lot of. And that original crew from the Philippines, at least in Jake DeLeon's case, which isn't too far from Vietnam, they literally watched a John Cena instructional video that he was a part of making when he was in training himself. And they all taught themselves to wrestle from that tape. Like, these people had to build their own wrestling rings, find venues that could accommodate them. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. So yeah, STB is losing. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Okay. So let's go to the main card here. Very solid show that they've built here. I'm very excited. So let's start with our first Owen Hart tournament match. I'm very excited for this match. We got Swerve Strickland versus Bandito. Tony Khan keeps going, what crazy matches could I put Bandito in with somebody that we just haven't really had him face before? You know, Andrade at Revolution, him and Blake Christian just had a great match. Swerve attacked him after the match. And then this week, Bandito attacked Swerve. I like that they built something personal between the two of them a little bit, at least. Mm-hmm. Books, who you got?
I Swerve.
I got to pick Swerve too. I think they're going with Swerve on.
As much as I love Bandito, I don't think it's Bandito's time, and I don't want to see him lose.
Yeah.
But I think I know where the final is going. So
yeah. I agree. Blurry Line says, I would hate to see Bandito lose, but I can't see how Swerve isn't winning. I agree. I think that's 100%, 100% chance, pretty much, that Bandito's losing this one. And I get it. I do get it, but I love Bandito. Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe in the Owen Hart Cup. I don't think there's any chance that Will Ospreay loses this match. I think there is.
Will Ospreay is my pick to win the tournament. So
Yeah, I think Will's probably winning the tournament. Yeah. New Day Mark says, who's win? Swerve's win. Yeah, that's right. Tino says, love that Bandito and Swerve's promo battle time was just a brawl. Yeah, and I like that Bandito is shown to be kind of a smarter heel. He's not just an idiot who like, oh, well, you attack me, but I don't do that to my opponents. Like, he's like, no, bitch, I'm going to take you down now. I like it.
Brody King has rubbed off on him.
Yeah. Antoine also says, oh, Bandito still hasn't taken any time off since his massive injury. Swerve is here to wreck him. It's time for Bandito to take time off and drop that title. We need ROH to have a full-time men's world champion to add to it. Buddy, we've needed that for 3 years. Like, most of the ROH men's champions aren't on the show. Mark Briscoe was barely ever there. Eddie was occasionally there. Claudio was occasionally there. Jericho was almost never there. I remember when Jericho appeared on the show and they were like, ooh, he's actually going to be on the show. It's like, he's the Ring of Honor champion. Yeah, I know. I think Ospreay is going to eat a nope spot. Benny the Bear says, for the love of the game. Of course. Also, he loves Samoa Joe. This is going to be a lot of fun for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. Every match it's going to be one of those. Every match is going to outbeat the next one.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a good card.
Yep. The women are the reason ROH is where it's at. I agree. The women are
ROH down. Is the reason why I know Tony can book women.
Oh, totally. And then he doesn't
don't understand what the fuck his problem is.
Right. Blake Christian as ROH champion would have been great. I agree. And Tino also says, I thought Blake Christian was going to take it off him. I don't think Blake was quite ready for it, but I do think he would be now, if that makes sense. That match actually really did a lot for Blake because Bandito sold most of that match. You didn't get a lot of the big Bandito things. Blake was taking that match to him the whole time, and he didn't quite have it yet. And he realized he's going to have to dig deeper. But I think there's some character development shit in there. I think he could be the champ soon. I do see the potential for that. And a guy like Blake Christian that's who the ROH champion should be, in my opinion. Is somebody like that who's on the come up. I love it. Bandito treats Swerve like someone who knows what Swerve's capable of. Agreed, Blairy Line.
Yes.
Agreed. Always never. I'm so ready for Blake to be champ. Agreed. Always never. Antoine, so he needed the main event to solidify. Can he do it? That match was marvelous. Blake is a star, and I am a fan. Same. He was great. He really, really worked. New Day Mark says, I saw Blake as GCW champion. That's when I fell in love with his work. Okay. So quick little Blake Christian story. I remember when he was all heart Blake Christian and the crowd would go, all heart. And I was like, fuck this. I hate this guy. I fucking hate this guy. And then he turned heel and he became all heat Blake Christian. And then he became Vanilla Baby and it popped me so hard. And he has it down how to be just an obnoxious fuck boy without even saying anything. I hate his guts, and that's why I love him. He's so good. He's so much better than I realized. When he was all hard, I hated his guts. He was just the kind of babyface I just can't stand. We have the replacement for Willow versus Alex Windsor, which is another Owen Hart tournament match. Athena versus Mina Shirakawa. I'm definitely going Athena on this one.
I'm going Athena. Athena's my pick to win it. So
yeah, I think Athena's the most likely to win the tournament overall. I think so. And
I think Athena's the only one who will push Mercedes to actually win the women's world. But
yes, and I think it's going to be a good match. I wrestled before, and it was great. So I'm excited. Let's see. Okay. Stadium Stampede match. We got Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, Young Bucks, Jack Perry, and Kenny versus The Demand, Mark Davis, Andrade, and the Dogs. This is a babyface match. The babyfaces have to win this match.
Yeah, but there's also no way you're going to have 4 of the original Stadium Stampeders in it and have them lose.
Right.
Like the whole point is we're going through a Jericho retirement thing. So they're going to finally have him beat Ricochet, and it's going to be Jericho getting the pin on Ricochet.
Yeah. Antoine says, which is saddening. I'm not sure what exactly that is in reference to. Was it about me going off about Blake Christian? Perhaps. Blurry Line 7, Blake Christian keeps feminist literature on his coffee table to impress women because he's a performative male. I mean, that is what he puts out there. That is the character he plays. He made a beautiful post the day after Ring of Honor Supercard telling the story of a woman he was friends with who was the biggest supporter of his dream to be a wrestler and how she tragically passed away. And I was like, oh, he's actually a good person. Okay. Wow. Okay. Could have fooled me. New Day Mark says Athena versus Purse in the final. Yeah. Give it to me.
Yeah.
No. Give it to me. Antoine says it's Athena all the way, especially after the last tourney she was in and lost in the first round. I agree, man. That sucked. Athena should never lose in the first round, but it was against Mercedes. That was,
yeah.
Why'd you guys do that to us? Blair Line, Blake Christian thought Trey Baxter was a good ring name. Tino Ibarra, Athena's my pick now that Willow's gone. Antoine, do we have to pick a winner? Yeah, we do. I want all of you to be on record being as wrong as I am, okay? I'm tired of taking this shit by myself. New Day Mark says Team Kenny with a returning Ibushi helping. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
Mr. Too Cool for TV, Kenny Omega. Mr. I don't have to show up on TV. I'll just show up at the pay-per-view. See Mark's there.
Kenny Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Kenny Reigns. There you go. Kenny O'Reinza. That was really bad. Sorry, guys. Benny the Bear. Yeah, third time's the charm for Athena. Tina says, I just hope everyone has fun. Antoine says, I want the final to be Hazuki versus Athena or Suri. I don't think it will, but I also could see it happening because Forbidden Door's right after. I see it as just an amazing thing that this tournament is so Forbidden Door coded. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
They're actually kind of building Forbidden Door properly this year. So,
and I think this Stadium Stampede match is going to be way better. It may not be exciting to people, but it's going to be way better than anybody's thinking. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, think about how good the first one was. I mean, it was pandemic and
we had no idea what it was. What is this in the comments? We can never be as wrong as you, Blade, but I respect you putting your thoughts out there. Wow, always never. After all the times that I've said you were right and I was wrong, you're going to do me like this? New Day Mark says, not to rub it in books, but I was there the night MJF beat Kenny to become the longest reigning AEW Men's World Champion, even featured on TV during MJF's entrance. Wow.
You know, it really sucks because the last time I saw Kenny was probably one of an all-time greatest match, right? I saw him at the first Grand Slam versus Danielson. So I don't know if this is the universe telling me I will never experience a Kenny match as great as that.
That was a really great match. It was a 5-star match. I mean, it was you saw the only time Omega in his prime and Danielson at the very end of his prime ever wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had to see that.
Yeah, but it would be nice to, I don't know, see him again.
All right.
Before he retires.
We've got the AEW Tag Title Street Fight I Quit match. Cope and Cage have to break up if they lose, and the midlife crisis party is over.
The daddy party. The daddy party.
The daddy party. Benny the Bear says, do you think it'll be half pre-taped then they fight into the arena? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it. There will be pre-tape parts of it and live parts of it. Definitely. Always Never says proper build for a Forbidden Door instead of dope matches on ROH. Agreed. You know, I think I like having a proper build to Forbidden Door because they've been setting the table for it for like half a year. If you've been paying attention to New Japan, and
I'm just also really sad though, Mr. setting up Forbidden Doors out injured right now, so hopefully he gets better in time.
Yeah, hopefully Gabe, I didn't put anything in your drink. Kid is back before Forbidden Door. I'll love Blade because you actually take a chance and choose to have an opinion. Yes, I know it's love. When I say you guys are giving me shit, it means a lot that you show up to give me shit, okay? Like, you guys are the best. Antoine, they go together to me. Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, and the Wembley show. I think so, and I think Tony sees this as AEW summer, is just all these shows. I'm looking forward to that fucking Brawl in the Ballpark thing they're going to do.
Oh
what
yeah,
the hell is
so
that with the twins? Like, I want to travel to Minnesota to go to that show just because it's going to be stupid. Did you see the Jarrett,
yes.
Jeff Jarrett announcement thing? That was awesome. Just hits Darius with a fucking guitar, breaks it over his head. Cope and Cage to win. So when Kofi and Creed debut, we get them in a match. I think you're right. I think Cope and Cage have to take this. They're not going to quit.
No, but you're also not going to not have Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, like this epic like tag team, and not put the belt on them once.
No, they want them in that lineage.
They want them in that lineage.
We are entering a period where you are going to have Edge and Christian, or Cope and Cage. You're going to have them. You're going to have the New Day. You're going to have the Bucks. You're going to have Motor City Machine Guns and FTR in the same division at the same fucking time.
It's going to be like here's our renaissance of AEW tag team.
Yeah, well, and then, but that's the thing. I want all these teams to use that platform to put these younger teams over.
Oh, the Rascals I cannot wait for New Day versus the Rascals. New Day versus Private Party. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I want to see those two really young guys, Jordan Oliver and Alec Price. The something in the brain. I forget what their name is right now, but I want to see them start getting a move up the ladder. That's just like going to be insane. I can't wait. Antoine says, no way Cope and Cage lose. They had to give them the legacy run. They have to.
Yeah,
they absolutely
have to.
And CMLL, the DCF has infiltrated CMLL, Tino says. I think they've been setting this up for a long time. I think it's almost since like last year at AEW New Japan Dynasty, that show, when Chris Charlton got his ass suspended. I think that they have been setting something up since then. Yes, Hot Grap Summer. That is right, New Day Mark. Tony Montoya, cousin, if that's the case, Blades, I left you a bag of shit at your door. That was you? You son of a bitch. That took me forever to clean my fucking shoes, man. That was not cool. Antoine, they are everywhere. New Day Mark, the only way the AEW tag division could be any better is if the Usos were to be released. They're never getting released. And I don't know if those guys can keep up, to be honest with you. Busta in the brain.
It would be cool to see the Usos unleashed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that's like curious about that entire Bloodline faction to be real. Like, if they were somewhere else, what would they be like? But
Roman Reigns in AEW would be goated. He would be more goated than he already kind of is, because I actually think he's not. I think he is talented, and like I get why he's part-time. But I think if you let him do a Jon Moxley type run in AEW,
it's the same thing, you know, because like I know Tony was trying to sign Bray Wyatt at one time. Like to see him with Tony and what they would have put together without Vince McMahon mucking things up would have been interesting.
What the Fiend could have been in AEW? Because I think about.
Can you imagine Bray Wyatt feuding with Hangman? Ask yourself that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
It's why I would like to see at least Bo come in.
Yes. Blair Line 7 says this Forbidden Door is going to be the most forbidden of doors we've had yet. Yes. Antoine says, yes, since last year, if you've been watching Best of the Super Juniors, Chris is still at it. Totally in character. I love him. You and I think, are the only people who love Chris Charlton. My ex used to call him Harry Potter. But he, a lot of people hate Chris Charlton, but I like him. The Usos would at least give a valiant effort. Yeah, they would. They would. Their super kicks wouldn't hold up to the Young Bucks super kicks, though. You know what I mean? I think the Young Bucks would have a match.
Just to watch them just super kick each other into oblivion.
Yeah, them and the Young Bucks do a match where it's only super kicks. Roman versus Will Ospreay in an AEW ring, New Day Mark says. I can see it. I mean, that would be dope. That would be dope. Also, Bandito versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Would be awesome.
Also, Roman Reigns versus Kenny would be amazing.
Well, yeah, and Kenny would do it too. Kenny wants to do that match. The only I can think of who would right away make the impact is Jacob Fatu. They should have never let him go to WWE. I don't know that they would have ever let that happen. I think that Jacob Fatu always knew the path would eventually be there for him. But they had to wait till the right time. Uso Young Bucks is the definition of the Spider-Man meme. Blurry Line 7, not gonna lie, the Usos getting singles runs somehow managed to make them both worse wrestlers.
Yes,
I
hate them by themselves.
Oh,
I hate them so much by themselves.
Real
I don't get why they did it. They should have. All
right, let's get back to the good stuff. Okay,
fine.
So Cope and Christian are definitely winning this match.
Yes, it's not even what I quit. I was like,
yeah, they had teased that Christian quit against Cope, and that was kind of going to be a thing, and then they didn't really build very much on that. I think because Christian's arm has been hurt and he hasn't been at every TV, but I don't think Christian's going to quit. I think this is going to be a really great match. Mm-hmm. We have an AEW Continental title match, no time limit. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think Moxley's going to win.
Oh, see, I have Kyle.
Okay. I want Kyle.
But it's just right now. I think it's more that I want Kyle to win, but I do think Moxley is going to not submit. But
I think they're going to use this to show something in Moxley that he's grown or something by not submitting. Like he didn't submit when he was locked in it for a minute last night, right? But
yeah.
Kyle's just locked up in this trios thing. I don't know if they see him as a singles. I want him to win because he could use the win. They didn't get to capitalize on him beating Moxley before, because he was injured. So I don't know. New Day Mark, Roman versus Bandito just made me feel something. I mean, it made me to change my page or possibly pants. Tino Ibarra, yeah, in that match they had against each other. So bad. Yeah, that's what I've heard. One of them yelled at their own child for being on their phone during the match. Like their own kid was on their cell phone. Like that's crazy. Antoine, the 10-person tag is going to be wild. Look at your adorable friend, Booksy. What friend? 10-person tag. Oh, on the pre-show, I don't know. KOR might actually try to kill Mox. I mean, he kind of looked that way. Kind of looked that way.
Oh, my dog.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, she's back. She keeps barking.
Yes. No, it's okay. Antoine says, I want to pick Kyle so bad, but this is the culmination of Mox's story of personal toughness.
Yeah,
Mox is going to win and show he is the true ace of the men's division. I think you're right, Antoine.
I'm going with John.
Mox, I believe, will use some dastardly way of leaving with the belt. Benny the Bear says, the focus has been on the redemption of the Death Riders somehow with this Osprey thing. And I think there's more mileage in that than there is in Kyle beating Mox.
That's true. Yeah. I can't believe they have me liking the Death Riders again. So, I mean.
Yeah. Blurry Line 7, the Continental title is the only thing standing between Mox and a plastic bag. Watch how Claudio and Pac look at Mox, especially when the crowd cheer for Mox. They despise him. Ooh.
I'm still waiting for Claudio and Pac to betray Mox. I don't know when it's going to happen.
It feels like it's got to happen eventually, right?
Tony's been a little too fond of the slow burn, and we got.
It took us 6 months to get to the next match I'm about to talk about. 6 months, actually longer. It took us like 8 months.
It was longer, yeah.
Yeah,
feels like almost a year.
And that match is Kazuchika Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita for the international title.
Finally.
I think Okada is going to take this one because it's going to be the thing that finally ends Takeshita's run in the Don Callis family.
I agree. I have Okada winning and Takeshita getting leaving and getting a babyface run. And that's when he'll beat Okada.
I want them to hook up Takeshita with the Elite.
I want Takeshita back in the Elite.
I want him to be in the Elite and have Kenny as like his guide, kind of. That would be dope. That'd be really dope.
Kind of play off the fact that, like, even though we all make the joke that Don Callis is right, including me now.
joke.
I think we all know Kenny has picked certain people for his legacy. We have Ospreay.
Yes.
We also have Takeshita. I think putting them together right now and having Kenny teach Takeshita how to beat Okada is a good story. But also then could lead to Okada versus Kenny round 7 for an automatic, for a tiebreaker.
I mean, you know, they're not ending it the way they've left it. They're definitely
no,
not.
you can't end it on a tie. Or they will because it is a tie. But I mean,
oh, that's true. That's true. It's just the match they had before that last match was literally the greatest match I've ever seen. So like, they're never going to be able to do that again because it was an hour and 15 minutes long. Like they can't. But I think Kenny's meant to win the series, especially now that they're both in AEW.
Yeah. Especially now that Kenny is back.
Yes. Back.
We
thought
what we thought was a great match in the last Okada versus Kenny.
Yeah.
The one we're going to get following that, it's not going to be as good as their, previous ones because they're older, but like,
yeah. Benny the Bear with a good point. Not everything has to be an anime story, Tony. Not
everything has to be One Piece, Tony. Okay.
That's true. That's true. I didn't realize that show's been on for like the manga and the show have been running since like the late 90s. Unbelievable.
I've given up on the anime. I'm just doing the live because I'm so overwhelmed. I'm only on episode 40.
Oh.
40.
My buddy power watched his way through it so that he could watch it currently. And it's like 1,000 episodes or something. Like, and he's reading the manga.
I gave up on the manga too because I was like, you know what? It's literally the same as the anime, and I just my library is so the E ones are so hard to get at my library, so I gave up.
Antoine, who has no particular strong feeling about this, says, I think for real, Takeshita wins the title. Then in all caps, I do not want him in the elite. No! Let him stand on his own. Well. Takeshita wins, then calls Tall Heyman a bitch, walking away from the family. Okay, that's New Day Mark's.
I'm sorry,
opinion.
he's actually a handsome Squidward. Heyman.
He looks like a penis. Don Callis looks like a penis. That's a joke I have with Lance Storm that he looks like an in-process circumcision since he got the scar. That's the start, but it just stopped immediately. Lance thought that was really funny and said he was going to tell Don. Maybe that's why Don's been punking me at various times on television. Antoine, Konosuke, I feel walking out with the title leads to the family turning on him and leads to where Okada should be, challenging Will for the title in a few months. Yeah, and then they're going to tell the story of Will finally overcoming Okada, probably. I still want an Okada title reign, though.
And then Kenny beating Okada.
Tito Ibarra, it's Rocky 3. It's going to end with the rematch between Will and Mox will say, ding, ding. Will goes for Hidden Blade, and right before they hit, they will turn it into an expressionist painting. That's that's something out there. Back, but not in North Carolina. New Day Mark's rubbing it
Kenny. In. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Not funny.
Yeah. Antoine very correctly says Okada is not doing anything with the international title. It's window dressing for my homie because he is so important. It feels like a placeholder for his eventual future. That's the problem I have with Okada holding any titles. Is for some reason, it's obviously not Okada's choice. It's Tony does this. Every title Okada has, he never defends any of them. Like, he's defended the international title. Like, he's held it for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's held it since like last All In July, and he's defended it less than a handful of times. One of those times was in Ring of Honor. I mean, it's barely at all. It's weird. Tino Ibarra asked, could we get Midlife Crisis Okada back?
Yes.
Oh, the red balloon Okada. That would be amazing. A lot of people did not get the genius of that gimmick. Tony Montoya, the live action is pretty good and gets through the story faster. Okay.
Yes.
We're talking about
that's about One Piece.
We're talking about One Piece. Okay. Don Callis looks like a skinny male version of Honey Boo Boo's mother. Wow. New Day Mark. New Day Mark says even Roman defends more than Okada. That's true.
That's true.
Antoine, has he not noticed how the Continental title got elevated once off him? Tony's the one who books these defenses. I don't get it. Why he doesn't have Okada ever defend the title. He just walks around with it. Blair Line 7, Okada's titles are never important, but the fact that Okada has a title is important. Fair. It's a vital to his character that he is a champion and is holding a belt. That gimmick for Okada was so damn fun, but I need surely I hate the young people Okada. Oh, you want the pissed off old veteran Okada from his New Japan run at the end of his New Japan run.
And I don't actually see Okada and the Elite being done yet with their storytelling, especially with Kenny and the Bucks reunited.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think it's going to be Okada, and it's going to take Takeshita leaving the Don Callis family to beat Okada. Like he kind of realizes he has a moment with like Kenny. Oh
yeah,
Don is holding me back.
Right. Next match. A match that has no build, has barely been mentioned recently. Tekla, Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander in a 4-way match for the women's world title.
It's just giving, let's get 4 of our biggest women's stars on the screen.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But let's not do anything. Let's not build this.
Let's not make it feel
Shida versus Statlander feuding.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see the point because I don't think that Tekla's losing anytime soon, especially going into Forbidden Door. She should be the champion when they have Stardom on the card.
Yes, 100%. Especially since she attacked Okada again, the president of New Japan, when they were in Vegas. Yeah. It's weird that they haven't talked more about this. I think Tekla has to retain it because they haven't built it up to feel like anything else could happen. Usually stories are best told when there's a real chance somebody could win. They kind of make it feel that way ahead of time, you know? And they just
I always assume with the 4-way. I mean, they did surprise us with Statlander that one time, but like we also got to the point where I knew at the time Tony was losing any match now because but this is not.
Yeah. I mean they've literally barely even mentioned the match. It's so weird.
Like at all. Like
yeah. It sucks. Antoine says, no, I agree. That is not over between Okada and Kenny. We need one more classic from Kenny while he has it in him. I agree. Yeah. And then says, yes, this is a match I think is going to surprise everyone. It will. It'll be a good match.
It's going to be amazing.
They need a good amount of time, though.
And I'm worried
they're not going to Fletcher or don't give O'Reilly and Moxley 30 minutes and give these 4 like 10. That's going to annoy me. We just had a 20-minute match with, Fletcher or O'Reilly and Mox on Dynamite. Don't give them a half hour.
No, sometimes matches can be 10 in order for the women to get more time. Like
and there's only 2. There's only 2 matches on this show. So come on. Tekla retains. New Day Mark says, I agree. Blair Line 7. I used to be certain that the international title was like 99% the title that the world title is, but what I now realize is that whatever title Mox is holding or fighting for is the real second title. Really well said. That is true. Tino says, yeah, how did this even turn into a 4-way? Well, it didn't really. They just announced it as Jamie versus Tekla. And then the next week it got turned into a 4-way, just apropos of nothing. Larry Line said, as soon as a belt is put on Okada, it just becomes a prop for him to kind of further his big shot persona. Yeah, agreed. And you wouldn't think Tony Khan would do that. He doesn't, he's such a huge fan of wrestling. It doesn't, and prestige, it just doesn't seem like him. Uncharacteristic. Tekla wins because none of these dumb bitches stand a chance. I love loose cannon Tekla. She is so good.
This is why, like, I don't know why she's not getting more time on TV to speak. She's so fucking funny. Use her to build up to Forbidden Door. I did get fired from New Japan. That was fucking funny. You literally have a built-in fucking story for the women.
That was
Tony.
The promo where she said, "Okay, fine, I did get fired from Japan." That was the one where I was in the crowd and I was like 20 feet down the stairs from her when she said that. So good. So good. Yeah, Blurry Line says the build of the match is criminal. Antoine says that's the only reason what Book said is why I'd pick Tekla. Stardom is going to be at Forbidden Door, but in the back of my mind, I see a scenario where Sheeta somehow wins, becomes a 4-time champion, and here comes Tony back. I don't think Tony's coming back anytime soon. I think.
The fact that we haven't heard anything makes me really think that I don't want to speculate, so I'm not going to say anything.
I did hear Sean Ross Sapp say, like, not this year at all. She won't be back this year. So, but it's probably because they have. People forget women have to stop as soon as they find out. So, like, we're not even 3 months into her that they're injured.
So
that they're not going to wrestle. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
we definitely
the fact that we have not heard anything. We have not heard anything, to me, is basically
we don't know the reason that Tony isn't on TV. She might be injured badly. Benny the Bear, I don't understand the need to keep going back to the Hater Tekla ball. I don't either. And even worse, Hater's in a tag team. Like,
and push that tag team, because that tag team is fucking great. Why is that not?
Divine Dominion and the Brawling Birds is the money program. And they're keeping them apart because they're saving it for, like, probably for All In.
But still, you can still start building it.
They also have that AEW Redemption show they got to do in July. So, Blurry Light says Tekla deserves better. Everyone involved deserves better. This isn't good enough for a company that moved past this point many times already and regressed. 100%.
It's the fact that they regress. That's, I think, why I'm so more angry this time around.
Yep. Tony, Devil Dinosaur makes a great point. I know who Devil Dinosaur is now. He'll be joining me on Monday for Shut Up Forever. By the way, Devil Dinosaur Books will be joining us as well. Professor Degree. Tony sometimes books together where he starts. Hey, no. Tony sometimes books where he starts at A and needs to get to C, but he can't figure out step B, so we get this oddly meaningless 4-way for the women's title. Exactly. Exactly.
I really think, unfortunately, this match is going to be used to book Sheeta versus Statlander. And they didn't know how else to do it. And instead of just making that could have been a buy-in match between.
I don't want Tekla to end up having the title reign that Monet mostly had, where she never had a real feud. She just had a challenger after challenger. That's kind of what's happening with Tekla. There was a little something personal with Hater, and so that there's a little bit of personal with Stat, but not enough. Not enough.
Do something. It's so easy to build stories. Like, pick up a book, Tony. Here, I'll send you one.
Tino Ibarra, Blade, I'm pretty sure they made it a point to say she wasn't injured, so yeah.
Yes, they made it a huge. I just can't wait till something is announced.
How dare Juice Robinson injure Tony in this way?
I know.
Antoine says, and that is criminal. I don't know why Tony cannot be consistent with the women in AEW. I think he's so enamored he keeps moving them around. He doesn't need to, especially it's hurting the tag team division. You get no time to start enjoying them as tag teams. For instance, I was all in on Rio and Windsor, had matching outfits, and we got 2 matches out of it. Yeah. And I mean, I also think that it's Mercedes and Tony. Like he built the entire division around them.
He doesn't know how to book anyone but Mercedes or Tony, and it is a weak spot for him. I think it's why I want Athena to win, because I think he actually knows how to book Athena.
Well, and she got buzz for ROH. I mean, legit buzz, but it's actually going backwards now, where Athena's been there so long, like people are just like, she's never losing that belt. And
have her lose and have her win the women's world.
Yeah.
Like,
Tony Montoya, can we call Tony Khan something else? It's confusing for the Tonys in the office. Which begs the question, Benny the Bear says, why not Aminata versus Tekla? Hey, I'd take it. That's a pay-per-view match to me. I'd take it. Tino Ibarra, leave it on Tekla till Forbidden Door, and Athena wins the Owen, and that is feud with some of the best talkers in the game. Also, Athena and Tekla hate each other. They had a feud and a match in Stardom last year. Like, she went over there to do a program with Momo and ended up in a feud with fucking Tekla because they hate each other.
Yeah, have that start building now. Like, that's Athena's motive to win. Like, oh my God, Tony just hired me to book your women's division.
Yeah. Tony, fix it. You got the talent. Just take the fucking hit for a few weeks in the ratings on those segments if you have to. If there really is even a hit to take, and fucking book them strong, and you'll have ratings.
Like, for God's sakes, or just put Mina out there with Harley when you think that they're going to have a ratings drop. And that will alone get ratings, okay? We all know what they both have.
Tino's now booking Momo as the wild card. I think that's your third pick now, Tino. Make a decision. Pin yourself down like I do, okay? Like I do.
I actually don't even know who my pick is. So,
Devil Dinosaur Professor Degree says, how many Star Wars references can we fit in on Monday books? Blade and Antoine will love it. Yeah, you guys are going to be real annoying. Antoine, they could have absolutely made 2 matches out of that 4-way. Sheeta and Tekla, Hater and Stat, winners face each other. Boom. Yeah. Yes. Antoine agrees that we love Momo. Okay, last match. This is a match that has been built to feel very significant.
Of course. Like only real one.
Yeah. MJF versus Darby Allin. I think until this week or maybe the week before, I felt like it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that MJF would win. If MJF loses, he loses his hair. If MJF wins, he wins the title.
Yeah. I've gone back and forth because MJF's interview made me think, oh my God, they're going to put it back on MJF. But he was talking like that before when he wasn't even champ. Then he came out with the shears. And moment he came out with the shears, I was like, oh shit, Darby's winning.
They've also had a lot of bald stuff going on with MJF. I mean, they made didn't they make a bald shirt or something? And then
yes, everyone is teasing him and egging it on.
It's starting to feel like if they don't do it, it's going to be a major disappointment.
Yeah.
I was very much Max is going to win this. I think Darby's winning. I think Darby wins. Too. I think Darby's going to eke this one out, and he's going to drop it very quickly after. Like,
yeah. I don't know who, though, because I still have Ospreay winning at Wembley, so I don't know.
I think I would have him drop it to Kenny.
I would too. I think Kenny versus Ospreay for All In is your money match right there.
And it's the rubber match between him and Will. Will beats him clean. I think that's where it's going to head. Because I don't see them doing MJF versus Ospreay again at Wembley. They already did it once.
And there was a lot of rumors when MJF first lost that he was going to be filming a movie.
Yeah, it's possible.
So I'm not completely not sold that there is a movie, but this is a fun way to get him ready for the movie. Yeah, no, and that's been my assumption all along, is he maybe has to shave his head for some kind of role. Because why else would that be the stipulation? That's such a outlandish stipulation. Like the diamond ring was there. There were so many other. It worked out so well, though, because of MJF and the hair thing to begin with, because people have been talking about his trip to Turkey since forever. Yeah. You know? Blurry Line thinks MJF is winning. AEW's fulfilled enough of their stipulations lately that they've done enough to make this plausible. Yeah. I mean, look, I think Darby's winning. I'm going 55-45 on this one, guys. It changes with the day. I might have a different opinion. I might have changed my mind by the time the show starts, but I'm on this show saying Darby wins. Devil Dinosaur. Common sense says MJF wins, but I have this crazy feeling Darby wins, which means that MJF wins because I'm been convinced he won't. Tony's playing with my emotions. He does like doing it.
What I like about Tony is he keeps things really unpredictable, but sensible and sensical. It may not go the direction you think it's going, but where it goes makes sense. I had to learn that with the Death Riders thing. Like, I wanted the Death Riders to break up. I wanted Moxley not to win the C2. I was mad about a whole lot of things with the Death Riders, but where they went made sense. And so you couldn't be mad at it in the same. Antoine says, I thought the same MJF, but the attention he is getting nationally now. If they pull the trigger with Darby, it will be gold for months and months, and the coverage it will bring will be gold for months and months. He has to do this and make Darby an AEW hero permanently. Honestly, I think he already has become a hero permanently. This title reign is so unique. 6 title defenses in a month. I saw him win the title just over a month ago. Think about that. I don't think I've ever seen this many Darby matches in this short a period of time. A Devil Dinosaur, I can make it in either argument for either outcome and convince myself. Yeah.
I think that's where I keep going back and forth.
Yep. Tony Montoya, cousin, pretty sure you can shave your head after you heal from hair surgery, so it wouldn't do permanent damage to MJF. Yeah. I mean, and if somebody would do it, it's MJF, because he's just that kind of fucker where he would do it for the work. And now there will finally be a reason for the bald chance. Antoine, as a bald, my heart goes out to you, man. The balds are unfairly maligned in AEW. That opening, though, where all the bald guys walk past him and he
good.
That was amazing. That's a part of AEW I miss sometimes, is the silliness. AEW
and that felt back to early AEW. Yeah,
they could stand to be a little more silly sometimes. New Day, Mark, I'm 100% attempting to start a he's our cue ball chant on Sunday. Blurry Line, if this was at All In, I'd think Darby's winning. If this was at All Out, I'd know MJF was winning. But sadly, it's at neither, so I don't know for sure. Tino Ibarra, yes, New Day Mark is going to be there in attendance. Antoine, this will solidify it for me and not make it a freak run. That's what I mean with Darby. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think,
and that's what I can see too. Like, solidify take a lot of the criticism that's been happening because of making Darby the champion, solidify it here, and have him over lose at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, or I mean, shit, he could lose at a fucking Dynamite for all we know. I mean, like, who knows? Blair Line 7. Also, to be fair, Darby has kind of already done everything we'd expect from him with this reign. It could go on a bit longer, but he's made his point. Yes, exactly. New Day Mark will be in section 15, just in case anybody's wondering. Antoine, Darby winning is what's best for business, they always say, as they say. Yes, I agree. Tino Ibarra's letting New Day Mark know some nice places you can go get some Greek food. And another Thread superstar will be there Sunday night too. Hydra Desnice. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, do you have anything else to add, Books?
I was just going to say, as I really sit on it, because I really do think it's going to be Kenny versus Will at All In, because I think that is what people want to see. Will joining the Death Riders doesn't make sense to have it be MJF versus Will.
No.
Kenny versus Will. But Kenny going to win it authentically as a hero while Will joined the Death Riders, this evil faction. Kind of, right? Like,
I think this thing with Will and the United Empire is a long way from resolved, but there's so many tie-ins to it with the Death Riders, with the dogs, with Bullet Club potentially.
Yeah.
So you could bring the Elite into it theoretically. And like my friend Antoine said, the money match is Kenny versus Will, and Takeshita should join the Elite. So Antoine, I agree with you. Great point. I'm glad you made it. Guys, make sure you click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to our feed. We're going to be back on Monday with Devil Dinosaur, aka Professional Degree, aka Cadillac Margarita, and Books and Body Slams. We're going to be reviewing Double or Nothing. We will go over who was right and who was wrong. Spoiler, it was me. You can add me
you
to
were right
category
once.
you think.
Once.
I was right one time. I just think that should be known. Okay. Known, as I've heard some Canadians say. So once again, Antoine, genius idea to have Takeshita join the Elite. He definitely doesn't need to stand on his own. I think having him really paired with Kenny a lot would be really good for Takeshita. Okay. I love you all. Whether you love me or not. Until next time, I'm Blade Daly.
And I'm Books and Body Slams.
Pro wrestling forever. All right. Antoine, it's saying you were misrepresented. I can't wait for that show. I'm going to blow the chat up. You bring it. Y'all, I love y'all. Thank you all for being here. New Day Mark, I hope you have the best time at the show.
The best time.
Have an amazing time. And share lots of pictures on Threads. All of you, have a great night. I got to mix this shit, so I'm going to go.
I got to go eat dinner. It is almost 9 o'clock my time.
Yes.
I've started doing the Gen Z heart, and I kind of like it more.
Oh, wow.
Now that I know how to do it.
Look at you trying to blend in. Yeah, you might get away with it.
No,
for a few years.
see the side part.
I'm ending the stream. Books, don't leave. Everybody else, get out of here. Take care of yourselves, people. I love you.